America is being abandoned. Why foreign tourists are canceling the U.S. Empty airport terminal. Air Canada jet idle at the gate. Eerie silence. This flight from Toronto to New York? Practically empty. But it's not just this one. Foreign airlines are pulling out of the United States fast. And what's happening isn't just turbulence ... It's a full-on retreat. Tourists are disappearing. Airports are silent. Local businesses are struggling. America, once the world's most desired destination, is being skipped entirely. From California to New York, cities are watching as international travel collapses, and it's hitting harder than anyone expected. The decline of American travel. Sunset overlay of 11.6% international visitors, March 2025. In July 2025, a report revealed a staggering truth. International visitor numbers to the U.S. dropped 11.6% in March alone. Western Europe was down 17.2%. And the situation with Canada? Even worse. Canadian arrivals fell 20% in March. By June, that number had doubled, down 40%. Let that sink in. At this pace, there may be so few Canadian tourists by year's end that airlines are giving up entirely. News clip montage of canceled routes. Air Canada has already confirmed several U.S. routes will be permanently canceled. And they're not alone. From Iceland's Play Airlines to WestJet and Flair, the message is the same. America isn't worth the trouble anymore. A $29 billion disaster. Empty tourist attractions, shuttered hotel windows. The economic fallout is brutal. The U.S. is now projected to lose $29 billion in tourism revenue in 2025 alone. That's not just numbers. That's crushed livelihoods across hospitality, retail, and transportation. The cause? A perfect storm of policy, perception, and politics. President Donald Trump's tough immigration rules, trade wars, and America First policies are sending a message loud and clear. Foreign tourists are not welcome here. And they're responding accordingly by staying away. Canada leads the exit maple leaf flag. Canadian airports redirecting passengers. Let's look at the data. According to OAG Aviation Worldwide, advanced bookings for Canada's flights in 2025 have cratered. Last year, Canadians booked 1.2 million April tickets. This year, just 295,000. That's a 76% nosedive. Summer schedules through October are being slashed. Peak travel months like July and August are already down 3.5%. And it's not just bookings. Border data shows Canadian land entries fell 35% in April. Air arrivals plunged nearly 20%. Canadians, once America's most loyal visitors, are walking away in droves. Airlines pull the plug. Airline route maps disappearing. Here's a snapshot of the damage. Air Canada is canceling flights to Detroit, Indianapolis, Minneapolis, Nashville, and Tampa, cutting over 300,000 seats. WestJet is dropping 9 transborder routes, including Calgary, New York, LaGuardia, and Vancouver, Austin. Flair Airlines is axing flights to Nashville and Las Vegas. Air Transat is redirecting toward Europe. Even United Airlines, a U.S. carrier, confirms it's scaling back Canadian routes due to collapsing demand. This is an airline exodus. Not temporary, but systemic. The broader collapse charts showing decline in international travel. And it's not just Canada. According to Tourism Economics, 2025 will see a 15% drop in all international visitors. That's a projected $12.5 billion loss in spending and 140,000 jobs at risk. Border towns are already feeling the pain. Some have reported 30% revenue losses. Duty-free stores are down as much as 50%. Tour operators are facing waves of cancellations. In New York City alone, hotel bookings are down 20%. The financial wounds are growing. Air Canada slashed its 2025 earnings forecast from $3.8 billion to $3.2 billion. U.S. airlines are bracing for deeper losses. The numbers aren't just bad, they're historically bad. Global events on the brink, FIFA World Cup stadiums, Olympic countdowns. The worst part? This collapse is happening just before the two biggest sporting events in the world. The 2026 FIFA World Cup co-hosted by the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. The 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. These were supposed to be America's grand comeback. Billions have been invested into airport upgrades, hotels, stadiums, and infrastructure. Miami's Hard Rock Stadium got a $500 million facelift. Hotels in Los Angeles expect 250,000 Olympic guests. But with international sentiment crashing, those seats may remain empty. Newspaper headlines. Opinion polls. Polls now show that the U.S. is viewed as less welcoming, more unpredictable, and more hostile to outsiders than ever before. Foreign governments are issuing travel advisories. Border horror stories are going viral. Random phone searches, long detentions, and visa chaos. One German tourist was reportedly detained for weeks over a visa typo. A traveler from Quebec told CBC, "I'm not risking having my phone searched or getting stuck at the border." Canada's travel advisory now warns citizens about intensified U.S. border enforcement. The message from travelers? America is no longer worth the risk. Canadian boycott gains steam. Canadians aren't just walking away, they're organizing. 91% of Canadians want to reduce dependence on the U.S. 85% are choosing domestic products over American imports. Facebook's Buy Canadian group now has over 1.2 million members. Prime Minister Mark Carney has called Trump's tariffs a direct economic attack. The backlash is real and growing. The exchange rate makes things worse. At 1.40 CAD to one United States dollar, American vacations are now luxury priced. The average U.S. trip for Canadians costs $7,250, up 24% from last year. The result? Most Canadians are staying home or heading elsewhere. 77% plan to vacation inside. Canada in 2025. Europe and the Caribbean are booming with Canadian tourists. Where the tourists are Paris, Jamaica, and Mexican resorts. Airlines are following the money. Air Canada is adding routes to Paris, Rome, and Frankfurt. WestJet is boosting service to London, Dublin, and Jamaica. Flair Airlines is expanding service to Mexico and the Caribbean. Even Middle Eastern carriers like Emirates and Qatar Airways are expanding rapidly. Chinese carriers are prioritizing Southeast Asia. While the global aviation industry is growing, expected to reach $598 billion in 2025, the U.S. is falling behind with just 2.9% annual. America's shrinking global role world map, showing airline shifts away from U.S. This isn't just about lost vacations. It's about global connectivity. Fewer planes landing in the U.S. means fewer opportunities for business, education, and diplomacy. The U.S. is being bypassed as China, Turkey, and the Gulf states deepen their ties with Europe, Africa, and Asia. America is being left behind. The U.S. is slowly becoming disconnected from the global system it once led. This isn't a travel issue. It's a strategic crisis. Conclusion. Time is running out. If America doesn't act now, this trend may become permanent. The travel boycott. The canceled flights, the lost revenue, it's all accelerating. What once made the U.S. a magnet for global travelers is fading. Reputations are hard to earn, and even harder to rebuild. The warning lights are flashing. Loud and clear. And if Washington doesn't change course on tariffs, immigration, and diplomacy, it may find itself hosting the most expensive empty stadiums the world has ever seen. Thanks for watching. If you found this important, don't forget to subscribe. We're tracking how global power shifts are reshaping our future one flight at a time.